We'll get started. Okay, now we're recording, but I can edit this, so I will edit this little part out.
Yeah, I'm
Yay!
so excited. I'm so excited. We got through this. We went through
I
Google and Zingo and Zango, and then we finally got this Zoom. Oh, thank God. And
oh
let me start by saying I had a nice shirt picked out for you, but I was trying to eat before I did this, and I got stains all over the shirt. And oh, God. So I went and I grabbed the first shirt I saw, and it's Albrecht Automotive Group. And these people donate a lot of money to cancer research, to Cancer Foundation. The comics come home. They're really nice people,
I love it. So
So
that's a perfect shirt for you to wear.
and it brings on my
It
it makes
does.
them
It's a
proud.
that's and guess what, Lenny? That's my color. That's my brand color. And it's like the blue and the white. So this is all perfect.
Oh, it's so good.
So good. It was meant to be. So we were meant to
Yeah.
have that problem with
Yes.
Chrome,
Oh
and
yeah.
now we're on Zoom, and now we can chat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce you. I'm going to go back to how I was going to start when we were on in my podcast studio. Now we're on Zoom. So I don't think you need that big of an introduction, but for those of you who don't know you, I feel like a lot of people from Boston are very familiar with you, because you are like the voice of Boston, but it's Lenny Clarke. He is a comedian and an actor, very Boston, very funny. I have to tell you that
And
yes.
sorry to interrupt. I'm also a bon vivant.
That too. I should have added that.
Oh
You
no,
should.
well, I have to tell people. So maybe I'm really not. If you have to tell people you're a bon vivant, maybe you're not. But continue. I'm sorry to interrupt.
It's okay. I just have to say that when I first moved to Boston, because I'm originally from New Jersey, but when I first moved to
Yeah.
Boston, I remember like the first time I heard you, I think it was on the radio or something, but I heard your voice and I
Yeah.
never forgot it because you're Lenny Clarke. You're just like the voice of Boston. That's how I think of you.
I'm
But
glad.
yes. And but Lenny, like I'd love to talk to you all about that, but there is a specific reason that you're on Chemo Coffee Talk. And I would like to talk to you
Yep.
today about the journey you went through with your wife, Jennifer, has had breast cancer 2 times.
Yep.
So why don't
Twice.
twice,
Twice.
yes. So why don't we begin with you telling us a little bit about her journey? What was her diagnosis? Give us a little background there.
Okay. Uh, I remember I was just coming in the house. I walked upstairs, and she said, "Len, you better sit down." I go, "What? What's wrong?" And she says, "I have cancer." And I went,
Mm.
"What?" And it floored me. And I'll never forget, my whole body just froze. I didn't know what to think. And I'm saying, well, it's okay. We'll get the best doctors, we'll get the best hospital, And we ended up at the Mass General, and her doctor, I'd love to mention her name, but I don't know if that's cool. So uh, yeah, Papa Smith. She was awesome. I mean, what an amazing,
You
amazing
can
lady,
say it. You can shout her
So
out.
uh, oh, just incredible. And she was dressed to the nines. I'm going, oh my God, if I were having a doctor, I'd want to dress like that. She's so beautiful, beautiful girl. And then we went through the radiation and the chemo and um, and we made it through,
Yeah.
you know. But the whole time I was thinking, well, if I could trade places with her, I would,
Yeah.
because I'd rather be me than her. Um, and then things went well, and then she got diagnosed again, and once again, the chemo and uh, I think they took something. I try to black it out because
Hmm.
it was devastating, not just to her but to me, because what do you do? I mean, I know great doctors and I know great hospitals, but I don't, no one's coming to me for any information. So it was really gut wrenching. And
Yeah.
it's just that I just thank God she made it through. And then we rang the bell, you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
at the hospital, I was just, the nurses were so great, the doctors were great. We were so blessed, not even lucky. We were blessed to have the help. And then what her first time, she said, "What are we going to do?" I said, "Don't worry about it. We'll go up, we'll get you in the Mass General, and we'll we'll get a hotel, and hotels, even on a deal in Boston, very expensive.
Yeah.
And Cam Neely said to me, your wife has cancer. He goes, what the hell are you doing? Come over to the Neely house. You raised so much money, you raised millions of dollars for it. And I go, well, I didn't know. He goes, no, go over there. So I went over to the Neely house, and the place is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe 13, 14 rooms, and the family can stay with the patient
Yes.
while they're having stuff done. So they were lovely to us. They were just so kind and so great. And it was crazy because we'd stay there. And that night I worked almost every night. I got to
Yeah.
work, because so
Well, let's
the-
talk about that a little bit too. 'Cause I just want to like stop you there because that was actually like one of my questions, which I find really interesting. That your line of work obviously is to make people laugh. So you're going through
yeah,
this horrible thing with your wife where you have to support her and you're going through that trauma yourself. What is that like to have to be funny when you're feeling, I mean, I know you're a professional, so that's probably something that comes easier to you than other people, but take us, what was that like to have to be a comedian when your wife was going through this?
I was probably at my very funniest
Mm,
because I was deathly afraid. I mean, I, you know, anyone who has someone they really love suffering, like you say, you trade places in a minute. And I worked almost every single night, and I would go up on stage, and I'd basically just black out and just start talking. And I think that's what's different about me and every other comedian I've ever met or known. They're all funny. I'm insane. And I've managed to eke out a pretty good career by being insane
yeah.
and making it comedy, because I say things sometimes to people and they go, that's so funny. And inside I'm going, I'm not joking. So I was rather than explain them, I go, yeah, yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. But to leave her, to go to work, and then the drive to work going, oh my God, I prayed a lot. I prayed a lot. And then I get up on stage and I just let it all out. And I didn't mention what we were going through, but that was always on my mind, even when I was, saying other crazy stuff.
Hmm.
And when I remember when I first started doing comedy, I'd be walking to work. I go, these people, I'm going to give them the greatest show they've ever seen in their life. And I would suck, and they would suck too. It was a suck thing. And then I'd say, I'm going to go just rip these people a new ass. Carry me out on the shoulders. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You know, when I started, there was only like 100, maybe 150 comedians. Now there's only about 150 people that aren't comedians. Everyone's a comedian. TikTok, YouTube, MyTube, HiTube, all the tubes. I don't know. But so while I was a wreck and worried about her, when I got on stage, it was like therapy for me. It was like,
It's like I
just
would think it would be kind of like an escape that you can just
yes.
leave real life for a minute.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because there's people right there, and
Yeah.
you know, you got to be. I could imagine going out and bombing them and go, "You suck," and I go, "Yeah, I know I suck. My wife's got cancer. What kind of an asshole I am to let that happen?" I mean, it was
Yeah.
all, and for the longest time, I said, "It's my fault. It's my fault." And I'm saying, "Well, what did you do?" I go, "I don't know. I must have done something bad." I just kept blaming myself and trying to and praying, a lot
Yeah.
of praying.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was thinking of my husband going through this too because he's very funny. And he held it together very well during the entire process, almost to the point where I was amazed. But then when it was over, that's when he kind of came apart a little bit and you could see the
Yeah.
wear that it took on and the weight that was on his shoulders. So did you have a moment ever at like when like afterwards when you could take a deep breath? Did you have a moment where
Yes.
maybe you couldn't
Yep,
even
I
go
did.
on stage?
Yeah. Just like your husband. I was a rock, and I wouldn't let her see me cry, or I wouldn't
Hmm.
let her know that I was worried. I go, come on, we'll get through this.
Hmm.
We've been through worse. And I'm thinking, she goes, no, we haven't. I go, well, this can be the worst that we get through. It'll be. I mean, I just talking crazy talk. But I was there for every appointment, and I was there for, all the doctors, and I mean, it was really trying because I was so afraid.
Yeah.
I was more afraid if it happened to me, I mean, yeah, hey, things happen, but not to someone you adore, someone you love, someone you put before yourself,
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm lucky to have her for a wife. I'm not easy to be around. I mean, I'm good in small doses. Don't get me wrong. I
Oh,
mean,
Lenny,
but for
I think you're awesome. You're like my new buddy.
oh, thank you, Carly. You're my new pal too.
Yeah, I love it. So, let's talk a little bit more about humor. I mean, obviously you are a comedian, but I think humor is a really important piece of coping. And I know that through my journey, like I said, my husband has a very good sense of humor, and so does my brother. And we laughed at a lot of very serious things that maybe other people would find too serious to laugh at. But
Yep.
I feel like humor is healing. I don't know your wife, so did she take part in the humor, or how was that dynamic between the two of you? Were you able to be funny together about it, or what was that like?
You, you know why I'm funny? Because I'm nuts. I mean, I was like, I'm not really a joke type of guy. I'll just say things that you can't believe I'm saying. And uh, in my family, I'm probably maybe the third funniest in the family. I have eight
Really?
kids in my Yeah, and I'm probably third. And the funniest, of course, is the giant baby, but he's got no filter whatsoever. So I would make a lot, but I would get him involved. So we just weren't staying in the room. We'd walk down to the Whole Foods,
Hmm.
and buy a bunch of healthy stuff. I said, we're gonna eat healthy, fish and chicken and no meats, and then I'd go back and get some meat. I go because they have these two like Iron Chef kitchens in
Yeah.
the facility at Neely House. So I started cooking. I started reading cookbooks and stuff. And I don't give a shit if I made a mistake because I did it anyway. But the people would, other patients would walk in with their families. And I go, how you doing? They go, you hungry? Sit down. And I'd plate the food for them and they go, this is delicious. I go, I'm so happy you like it. Boy, that makes me feel happy. Well, I'll say a prayer for you guys tonight. And,
Yeah.
I wish the best. And I go back to my room and like 2 days later, they said, and that chef is amazing. And she goes, chef? Who's the chef? I
That's
go,
Lenny
the big
Clarke.
guy with the red hair. That's Lenny. His wife's a patient and he's not a chef. Well, he's a wonderful cook. But I was following the recipes right to the letter. Maybe not to stick with the recipe. That's why and I made. She said that was the greatest meals she had. Because I'd involve her. And what's that? Too many cooks. What?
You,
So I I would just say, whatever you say, hon, the recipe says this, but you probably don't even need a book.
I love that. So
It's
you even had fun when
yeah,
you were there, and that was your way of spreading kind of humor to the other patients. Well, you know what? Let's back up a little bit. For those of you who don't
okay.
know, can you explain what the Cam Neely House is and what they do? You said a
Oh,
little
of
bit in the
course.
beginning, but let's talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. The Neely House was started by Cam Neely and his brother and his beautiful wife. And he did it in memory of his parents. Both his parents passed. And I was there the opening night, I'll never forget it. And every year we do a sold out show at the Boston Garden called Comics Come Home.
Hmm.
Dennis Leary's idea,
Hmm.
and he brings back famous comedians. And even if they're really famous and they're not from here, he'll bring them in and say, he visited once, good enough. And we raised, I think we've raised maybe $18 million over the
Amazing.
last 26 years. And the money just doesn't go to the Neely House because Cam stressed that to me once. She says, Lenny, I appreciate you plugging the Neely House, but a lot of it goes to cancer research because we want to find a cure. I said, oh, man, I understand. But let me tell you, as someone who went through as a family member of the patient, that place is it's outrageous. It's in town. I forget. I'm a mess, but he they put families in there. So if someone's suffering from cancer, the family can move in with them, and they have beautiful rooms, and they have two Iron Chef kitchens and a theater, a movie theater with thousands of movies, and I mean, really beautiful chairs. It's wild. And washer dryers, and I even washed some people's clothes once. They said, "Oh, we're running late." And I go, "Live there. You can pick them up when you get home." And I was
That's so
washing clothes.
nice.
Well, you know what? It got my mind off of me,
Yeah.
and I could see how relieved they were. I said, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. And I would do the delicates. I mean, I wouldn't throw them all in like a normal guy would just throw it all in. And no, the whites I'd separate, and their appreciation made my heart sing. It was just like, wow, I'm glad I can do it, because like we said, when you have someone in your life you love and they're suffering, there's nothing you wouldn't do, And keep in my mind, yeah, it was always on my mind, but when I was cooking, I'd get a break, or when I was performing, I'd be thinking about being on stage. And the drive to and from work was horrible because all I thought about was her. And in the days, I'd wake up and I'd say, I'm going to make her a crazy breakfast. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'd make this stuffed French toast, and I would
Oh,
make oh yeah, and I make eggs scrambled. Then I make an omelet. I mean, like so much food. And then I would what she did, I would put in the refrigerator and write on it, "Help yourself." How
that's so
people say, "This
nice.
is mine. This is mine. Help yourself. It's all for you." And that way, I didn't want it to go bad, and people got to enjoy it. I
That's
told them I
really
would.
nice. I love that.
Yeah.
How do you think that this experience changed your relationship with your wife, or what was, because here's the thing, I always say I will never ever thank cancer for anything. It's stupid, but I have to say that if you choose, and I've said this before, if you choose to find the silver lining in it, they are there, but you have to choose to see it that way. So how do you think, what's the silver lining for you and your wife after this journey? Is there
Well,
one?
aside from aside from death, she's still alive.
Yeah.
That's the silver lining
No, no,
that I try to pull from. And the fact that I could be there for her when she needed me. I
yeah.
mean, it wasn't like tomorrow I leave for Nashville. I'm filming a TV series with
Nicole
Nicole Kidman.
Kidman.
Yeah,
Tell Nicole I say
Nicole Kidman
hi.
and Jamie Lee Curtis, and
That's amazing.
Simon Baker, and
Oh,
Bobby
he's cute.
Cannavale. Oh, they love him. They love him. All the girls love him. It's great. And then there's me,
Yeah.
and
You're cute too.
there's not a chance. There's not a chance in the world of Nicole Kidman wanting to have sex with me. So I'm
Oh, Lenny, you're funny.
and I play her boss, and it's really good. But you should see her. She does more with her face, with an expression, than five lines of dialogue. I'm like, whoa. And she's what? She says, I never want to play cards with you. She says, why? I said, man, you make a I think you're bluffing every time.
That's awesome. No, that's really exciting. So what do you,
Oh yeah.
oh
So
yeah,
the fact that this is what I gleaned from it as far as the positive. I wasn't working filming a movie or a TV show, because if I had, because there was a shot at me getting a movie, and they said, "So what do you think?" And I go, "You know what? I can't. I got to be around my wife. She's going through, breast cancer, and thank you for even offer, but I could be flying, jetting off anywhere, and because I wasn't working TV or films, which I would have had to step away from. Uh, it I got to be there for her when she needed me. And
hmm
I got to be a rock for her. And I'm not a rock. Oh my God. I'm a wreck. I fall apart over a sad commercial. I mean, you know, I'm a very emotional guy. I don't let that come out. Maybe anger emotion,
yeah,
that the emotion. anger that comes out. Not at her, but I mean, at, if I'm being heckled or something, or,
Yeah.
or someone's doing something bad to someone, whether I know them or not. I go, don't be a bully. Don't be
Yep.
like that.
Yeah.
So that's my mode. But I do have an incredible heart that I feel for people. I feel for people I don't even know,
Yeah.
and it's just
Well, I can
it.
sense that about you the first time when you called me, and you're so easy to talk to. It feels like you're immediately the person's friend. I mean, I only know from personal experience with
Oh,
myself,
oh,
but as
well,
soon as you called me and you used my name, and it was just like you were so nice to be on my little podcast, like you were excited about it, like I was excited about it. So that
oh,
shows a
oh,
lot about your kindness.
if that's so sweet. Thank you so much. If but I can't let my my sweet emotions
Yeah.
serve.
No,
You know,
no, I understand.
like,
Yeah.
'cause,
Yep.
no, the people, first of all, they don't understand,
Yeah.
and why are you sad? Why, you're a comedian. I wish I could make myself laugh. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. But, oh, I lost my thought. Oh, that's another thing. In the last 2 years, I had a stroke and two heart attacks, and the stroke was a massive stroke. And I said to the doctor, "Will I have any side effects?" He goes, "It may affect your short-term memory." And I go, "Short-term? Isn't that the one you need? Long-term, I'm trying to forget shit that's been buried there for 40 years." But oh my God. Yeah. So I I have trouble staying on course, but I would rather be your friend
Yeah.
than your enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's worked out pretty well for me because my mother always said, "Leonard, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice."
Yes.
You know, and
I agree.
yeah, that's worked. That's
Yep.
worked. Oh yeah, I've met people that very, very big, successful movie stars who are the dicks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
that. Nice people. I go, wow. I mean, I got in a fight with one guy, and I said, "Well, you're a terrific actor. Why don't you try acting like a human being?" And I thought that was a great line,
I
and
think
I
it's a
stormed
great line. I might.
off. I was cut out of that scene almost altogether. But it was I was furious, and I
Yeah.
mean, I just look at if you can't help someone, for God's sakes, don't hurt them.
Yeah.
I mean, it-
100%.
I do believe in karma. I
Yep.
do believe in karma, and I mean, you reap what you sow and all those great things. But hey, to uh, to have gone through that twice now, and uh, it, it's the scariest thing I've ever done because
Yeah.
I'd be lost without her. I wouldn't, yeah,
Yeah.
she,
Well, well, what if, just to, I always kind of try to finish the podcast with asking whoever I'm talking to about, like, to give a tip, something really useful. And I don't want, like, I want this to be something that would just come out of like the first thing you think of. So let's say there's somebody whose partner just got diagnosed with cancer. What's one tip you would like to share with them right now, either about making sure that they get support themselves, or what's one thing that you would like to share with them about the journey, something that you think would be useful or positive, or anything that you think that they would need to hear right now? Would that be?
teamwork. You're
Hmm.
not alone. I'm with you on this. I'd like to be a captain. I know that's not going to work out. So you can be the captain, but I'll be a first mate, and we are in this together. And we'll go to doctors together. We'll get help together. We'll call in every favor we have
Mm-hmm.
because not only do I need you, but a lot of people need you. And
Lenny, that's a great tip.
oh, thank you,
I love
because
that.
yeah,
Well,
uh,
I'm really sorry you had to go through the journey, but I really feel like you do use everything that you've been through to help other people. And again, I can't thank you enough for spending time with me on my show. It was such an honor that you would even want to be on it.
my honor, my pleasure. And if people knew what you had to go through with me to get me online to begin with, that Google thing, I don't like Google. I'm upset with Google now. And well, matter of fact, Google's pissed at Alexa anyway. in my house. Why don't you ask that bitch Alexa? I go, oh, Google, come on, we've been pals. So then you got me on Zoom or whatever,
Yep.
and
And we got it done.
Oh, we did. We
We did. We
did.
weren't going to quit, Lenny. We don't quit.
No, you don't. You're terrific. It's okay, then. I got nothing to do with
We're,
Sunday night. Relax.
yeah, take a deep breath. We're good. We're good.
And how amazing you are. You did it during the halftime of a football game.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Lenny. Thank you so, so much. Go have fun with Nicole Kidman. Tell her I say hi. I
I
can't wait to
certainly
watch
will.
the movie. It's going to be
That's a
awesome.
TV series.
Oh, a TV series. Okay. When is it going to,
It's
what,
called it's called Scarpetta, and it's based
Scarpetta.
on a bunch of books written by Patricia Cromwell,
Okay.
big writer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and they picked it up for 2 years. So
Wow.
I think I'm in 5 or 6 of the first year, and then hopefully they like what they see, and they'll maybe bump me up a little more. But I'm just thrilled and flattered and honored to be working.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, go have fun, inspire everyone you see because you're just really nice to be around. So thank you again, Lenny.
What a beautiful compliment. Now you're pretty damn nice to be around too. Thank
Thanks,
God you
Lenny.
got brains. I couldn't get this thing to work. All right. Bye bye.
Bye, Lenny.
Call me anytime you need anything. Feel free to call.
Thank
Okay.
you, Lenny. Bye.